Right then, welcome back to the channel. United have been linked with someone now. The manager situation has been resolved. They're starting to get those really, really strong transfer rumours. Leny Yoro is one that is being linked quite heavily, and a lot of people just seem that, oh, he's going Real Madrid, even though there's seemingly not been anything with Real Madrid, or it's been rejected with Real Madrid. And Branthwaite is another one. Now, I did a scout report on Branthwaite maybe a month or so ago because we were being heavily linked with him at the time, and that's what I try and do whenever we're linked with someone. We have a look at him, and I wasn't seeing the hype with Branthwaite, so I started to try to watch him, and after watching him, I not only didn't see the hype, I was actually genuinely worried that United were in for him because a couple of reasons. One, I don't see what everyone's trying to force and tell me that he's this great ball-playing defender, because the truth is he's not. Two, the money that he's going for does not represent any sort of value. Now, if United are looking for, there's some sort of homegrown element to it that they're interested in, okay, but I still think that there's homegrown centre-halves that are better than Jarrad Branthwaite in a big, big way. The talk is that United have offered somewhere in the region of 70 million, but Everton want more, or that Everton are going to demand at least 70 million. That figure to me, when there are centre-halves probably going for about 40, I can't compute with that. Now, I think he's a better player than Maguire, but I think he's similar to Maguire in that he can probably defend the box quite well. But and people are raving about his passing. I'm just not seeing it. Please show me some clips of where he's taking the ball and moving it forward. This is not Martinez, and my worry is as well, with him being a left-sided centre-half, is it to replace Martinez? Is it cover for Martinez? You don't buy a player for cover if he's going to cost £70 million and 150, 160 grand a week. Now, Martin Ziegler from the Times reported that United have agreed personal terms somewhere in the region of 150, 160 grand, but they haven't gone and found agreement with Everton just yet. And as someone said in the comments here, S says, Van Dijk is on 220 grand a week. If JB is on 160 grand a week, he's a hit. In 3 years' time, he'll be 25, 26 and asking for a new contract, and that contract will be in line with Van Dijk. It's far too much. It's far too much for this player. Far too much. Both transfer fee and wages are far too much. He's nowhere near the level of what's being asked for here. Now, I don't necessarily trust Gareth Southgate's judgment on a footballer, but the fact Gareth Southgate didn't take him when he had so many injuries in defence and chose to take Mark Guéhi instead of him, well, the reason for that is Mark Guéhi is a better footballer. If we was going to spend 70 million, I don't think you'd have to spend 70 million to get Mark Guéhi out of Crystal Palace, and I think he's a far better footballer. He's a far better defender. I really don't see the hype in the slightest with Branthwaite. But the problem is, I think it's real. I do think it's real. Now, someone coming out and saying United have agreed personal terms, that's not United are looking at him, innit? That someone's gone hard and strong on that one, big time. And I think the ceiling of someone like Yoro versus Branthwaite is just incomparable. I would pay that much for Yoro because I think that's the new Varane. And I think the way Martinez plays, we've seen how well he plays with Varane, just get the new Varane rather than the new Maguire. Akash says not for 70 million and not more wages than Lissandro's on either. Is he on more than Lissandro if that's the case? Akash says Ornstein's all over it. What's Ornstein said? I haven't actually seen that. Let's have a wee look. What he's saying. Oh, he has said that United and Liverpool are pursuing Leny Yoro. I like that. I think he's a genuinely good defender. It's clear United are in the market for a defender. And I've looked at loads of centre-halves on our scout reports. Leny Yoro for an 18-year-old, I really, really like. So it says, Liverpool and United see Madrid as a favourites, but pushing hard for the 18-year-old centre-half, seen as a unique market opportunity to separate to other targets. PSG are keen too. That was 16 hours ago from Ornstein. Not been an update since. Certainly not on Twitter, at least. Anywho. Right, where's the chat gone? Simon Stone said United intend to speak to Everton after the transfer window opened on Friday, but the response is likely to be frosty. BBC Sport has been told that Everton do not want to sell Branthwaite. That not necessarily true. That's generally how posturing starts. The club believe it's just a matter of time before he becomes an England regular and rate him in the same bracket as Harry Maguire and Gvardiol. Now, for starters, they're not the same bracket apart from the transfer fee, right? In terms of player, Gvardiol is an absolute disgrace of a centre-half. He's unbelievable. If he is even a centre-half, the way he's been played with Pep. And Harry Maguire was a really expensive mistake. So if you're putting him in the same bracket as Harry Maguire, yes, but you're not putting him in the same bracket as Gvardiol because, honestly, that's a ridiculous comparison. Daniel says, Branthwaite has proven Premier League, Yoro hasn't. Proven what in the Premier League? What has he proven? What has he proven? You please tell me what has he proven in the Premier League? He's proven fuck all. I'll be honest with you. Carl says Yoro off to Liverpool. Brian says a lot to pay for raising the floor in defence. Could we be buying 2 centre halves? I think you could get 2 centre halves for not far off this money and not far off the wages either. Movenden says Fabrizio says Yoro is waiting for Real Madrid. He might be waiting for Real Madrid, but if that train don't come, then what's going to happen? People saying Martinez is on 120 a week. How are you coming in and putting him on a third more than Lisandro Martinez? If I'm Lisandro Martinez and United pay 70 million for this player, let's be kind, and put him on a third more than me, I'm out the door because it's disrespectful because they are not on the same planet when it comes to centre-half ability. That's an absolute joke. A couple of people agreeing that Yoro would be preferable, safer bet. Look, I think he's a physical player, and yes, he's played in the Premier League, but so what? Has he lit the Premier League up? I was seeing the hype, I wasn't buying the hype. Would I go over De Ligt? De Ligt's on big dough, and he's a bit of a injury-prone player, and with us having one injury-prone centre-half, I think the next centre-half that we need is one that is not as injury-prone. Have I seen the Carrington update? I saw that United is going to spend 50 million on Carrington. I didn't read the article just yet, though. Daniel says, you're out the door. Martinez hasn't played for 12 months. Well, he played 2 weeks ago, so that's just not true, is it? Now, I agree he's had issues with injuries, but that doesn't make Branthwaite better. Dave says, could be part of the idea that Branthwaite could cover for sure. Well, do you know what? I've been thinking about this actually as well. Something Rooney said on a pod that I was listening to, and then I can't remember who else said it. There was another podcast I was listening to where someone was talking about how you're not really seeing fullbacks doing a lot of overlapping at the moment. Like they're inverting a lot and joining midfield and getting involved in the build-up play. But you're not really seeing fullbacks at that sort of, gone are the Dani Alves days, if you like, and the Evra days. We've moved on a little bit from that, and fullbacks now occupy a slightly different position. Not necessarily saying it's better, it's just different. It's just teams are using different ways to try and find overloads and prevent overloads the other way in certain areas, and fullbacks has become a big part of that. And you've seen a lot of teams finding success by almost fielding 4 centre-half style defenders in there. Ones that are versatile enough to step into midfield, but also can defend 1v1. And I'm not necessarily against that in a way. Kevin Frank says Branthwaite is Maguire 2.0. Does he play in part of a back three? Well, the problem with playing a back three is that at the moment, you've probably only got 2 centre-halves. If he comes in, and I don't think he's all that in all honesty, but if he does come in, what's he got over Martinez? Height, yes, right, that's it. If you wanted to move to a back three, maybe, but I just don't see... I'd be very shocked, put it that way. I don't see it. Now, it could happen. Everything's possible. But I'd be very shocked if Ten Hag moved to a back three from now. Danny Quinn says, relax, we aren't paying 70 million for Branthwaite. Yoro or Todibo, who would I pick? I think Yoro's got a higher ceiling, but I think Todibo would hit the ground running faster. What's the difference between Kambwala and Branthwaite? I think that'd be a little bit unfair on Kambwala, because I think Kambwala's look good, but the longer you play, the more chance you get to be exposed in mistakes. And I'd give it Branthwaite that he's got the longevity and he's got the experience of playing at least a couple of seasons of top flight football. Kambwala's not there with that yet. Darren says Yoro seems to favour Real Madrid, which I don't like. Just means he'll be only beat United for a few years before he moves on. Possible. Akash says you also need to be good on the ball as a centre half. You do if you want to be building up, and it looks like that's how Ten Hag wants to do it. Leisha at centre mid with Branthwaite, and no. Look, I'm a massive fan of Lisandro Martinez, and I think him stepping into the 6 area is one thing, but you can't play. He hasn't got the dynamism to cover the ground that you need. It'd be too similar to Mainu in that sense. S says Branthwaite is 6'5" and extremely two-footed. But what does that even mean? Extremely two-footed? Extremely two-footed? The passes he plays are obvious. It's a step up from Maguire, but it's not Martinez. I don't necessarily see him having unbelievable technical skills. People keep talking about how he lifted his technical floor by going to Holland and playing in the league over there. Okay, I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. He must have been shite before, because when I look at him now, I don't go, ooh. I just see a quite ordinary Premier League level defender when it comes to being on the ball. I don't see world class. I don't see world class potential in him. I don't see great 1v1 defending in him. I don't see great fundamentals in him. I don't see great defending his back post in him. I just don't think he's a great defender. And I'm worried someone at the fucking club does. Daniel Berry says, Branthwaite can't show his technical skills because he played under Dyche. Well, that's not true, is it? I mean, it's true that he plays under Dyche, but you can still see certain characteristics within a player, and I just don't see them. Who is as good as Martinez in passing? Yeah, not many. Toke Ted said, ordinary is exactly it. Dylan says, I saw Antonio Silva for Portugal. He's going to emerge as one of the best centre-halves in Europe. Very impressive. I agree. Andrew says, Todibo will be a bad signing for us. Every one of his highlights is just him committing shitloads of fouls. Spicy though, wouldn't it? And we like that. Zeppelin says, any reliable source saying United are happy to pay the full asking price with no negotiation? No, they're not. They're not, but you don't want United to get this far down in a player that is just not that good. Have I spoke about the renovations to Carrington? No, not yet. I haven't read it. So I assume we'll probably talk about that in a different vid. BM says, did I see Ten Hag throw shade at Arne Slot last week? He was downplaying Slot's achievements at Feyenoord. This is a rivalry I'm looking forward to next season. Yeah, I've seen people trying to really drum up what Slot did in Holland, but his win rate is a full 10, might even be 12% lower than what Erik Ten Hag's was in Holland. So now what? Joe says Branthwaite is a better talent than Antonio Silva. At what? Because being a centre-half in football, he is not. What price would I feel is right for him? I don't want any price for him unless he's coming in as a backup, because he's not good enough to start for Manchester United. He is not taking the team forward. Right. Is he better than us playing Casemiro there? Yes. Right? Let's get that out of the way nice and early. Is he on the level of Varane or Martinez, or has he got the potential to be? No. That's what United need to be looking for. Darren says, what about Schlotterbeck from Dortmund? Well, I fucking told you all about Schlotterbeck when he was at fucking Freiburg. And no one listened. Literally no one at United listened, because I got that message into United. I was like, have a look at him. And the message came back saying, don't fucking rate him. So I hope whoever it is that looks at centre-half for United's fucked off, because they were wrong on Schlotterbeck and they're fucking wrong on Branthwaite. Wrong. Verti Joe says, I'd take Hermoso on a free and try and get Yoro and Todibo. That's a lot of money. to overhaul the centre halves while selling Maguire and possibly Lindelof. Keep Wan-Bissaka and Dalot to compete for right back. David says, far too expensive, United overpay all the time. So yeah, this worries me a little bit, I'm going to be honest, because what we want to see is a different look from United in this transfer window. We want United to come into this transfer window and impress us. We want this new football department to just fucking pull a gem out and be like, ta-da, motherfuckers, 7 million from Japan, never heard of him, can't pronounce his name, fucking player of the year. That's what we want. We want someone to fucking come and just pull a fucking signing out like that they've spotted that nobody else has fucking seen. That's what we want. Here we go. We found someone playing second division Switzerland. He's only 17, but he's fucking worth 100 million and we can get him for 2. Where's that? That's the sort of insight I'm here looking for. Leicester managed it. Why can't United fucking manage it? Know what I'm saying? Who would I say is better, Colwill or Branthwaite? Going into this season, I'd have absolutely had a fight with you if you'd have said Branthwaite over Colwill. Colwill's had a bad season, but is that on the back of Chelsea having a bad season? Let's have a look next season. My gut instinct is I think Colwill's got more to his game. Trizzy says Ollie wanted Rice. Brian says South American gem. Aaron Moore says Tanibo has to be our first centre half signing. James says, can Leisha play left back with him and Shaw only capable of playing half a season? Seems like a winner. If you're going to move to that sort of idea where you have a bit of a 3-2 build-up where your fullbacks are sort of inverted and becoming part of a back three anyway, then that's not the craziest idea. I don't think it is the craziest idea. Stuart says, if Branthwaite's cheap enough, he's not the worst buy. Well, what's cheap enough? Because you need to be taking about 90% off his transfer price or 80% off his transfer price. Abner says, who should the club go for in place of Branthwaite for that homegrown quota? Well, the problem is going to anybody in the Premier League, you're going to get your arse handed to you. If that's the criteria, then you're going to struggle. Mark Gay would probably be a lot cheaper and I think better. Pravati says, on this day 13 years ago, we bought Phil Jones. Ryan Stubbs with a super chat says, just want to thank you for your comments about mental health and talking to someone. I've done that, feel better already, so thank you. Up the Reds. Well done, mate. Howie says, if Branthwaite's more than 50 mil, it's a piss take. Yeah. Reckon we could get Saliba? No. Look, I mean, yeah, if you throw like 200 million or something at Arsenal, and he ain't worth that. Like, this is the problem. When you go to a Premier League rival, you're not getting any value for money. You're paying for the fact that you're also taking them off them. And if you go to a mid-table Premier League team, they don't really need to sell. You've got to look abroad for good players. Meek says, Gay is 50, 60 million, not a lot different from Branthwaite. I think it's a lot different to Branthwaite. I would absolutely trust him a lot more than I would Branthwaite, to be honest. Jed says, am I flying out of Germany for the Germany-Scotland game? That's tonight, isn't it? So, no, I'm not. I'm flying out tomorrow afternoon. Lewis says, reckon we should get Saliba. Unless there's another player called Saliba, then no. Reckon we could get Trent out of contract. What the fuck would you want Trent for? Genuinely, what the fuck would you want Trent for? Goalkeeper warm-up coach? What the living fuck would you want Trent Alexander-Arnold for? Unless there's another player called Trent and I'm mixing this up. If that's the case, I apologise. Don't think it's the case, though. I think you actually mean Trent Alexander-Arnold in a Manchester United shirt. Are you fucking tripping? Oh, God. Yeah, I know it's Friday, but you don't want to be drinking this fucking early. Why would Gay be cheaper than Branthwaite? Well, I just can't imagine Palace saying fucking 70, 80 million for Gay. Højlund could do with Trent on the wing, to be fair. He's not a winger. Like, this is the thing, right? People see one attribute of a player and go, oh, Wan-Bissaka could play centre-half. Centre-halves don't make tackles. And wingers do a lot. Like, there's a difference between being a fullback that puts a cross in and a winger that puts a cross in. Wingers don't usually get put in the same sort of space that fucking fullbacks get. That's why he's allowed to take his time, pick his pass, and still fucking get 0 out of 11 crosses complete. Wingers quite often have to receive the ball with their back to goal. They've got to try and beat a man to create a little bit of space. It is not the same game. It is not the same game. It is different. Yakash says Tanobo, Chabala, and check out Calafiore, future Ramos. I think we've done a scout report on him. Giuseppe says, did I see this as a Ineos commercial signing? Why would it be a commercial signing, though? It's not a great advert, is it? Sean says, Scotland are winning tonight, by the way. McTominay brace. I think they're going to do better than everyone, including me, expects. But they could also do fuck all, couldn't they? Let's be honest. And I think they're going to struggle against Germany in the opening game. Scotland always... Is it me or does Scotland always end up in an opening game? Every single time they go. Scottish fans, like, is that a thing? You know what I mean? What was I going to say? What's something else I was going to say about Scotland? I don't know. I forgot now. Reckon we can get Haaland when City get relegated. Do I think Mainu will start the first game? I have no fucking clue, really be honest. Open against Brazil in 98. Only twice that I know of, says Notch. Alex has got Scotland to win tonight. Altered Shape says Trent is not a good player. Jesus wept for what you've been watching the last 3 years. The Barbam says, from what I've seen, Braithwaite is quite good defending, running, defending back towards goal. Really? Go watch my scout report on him. Stephen says, any reports on Seb Green or Tobias Raymond from Forest? Not that I've seen. Anywho, I'm going to wrap it up as always. Back later with the brew. I think we've got Uncle Webby on, so that's going to be absolute fucking carnage in it. I'm doing a preview for England against Serbia's game, so stay tuned for that a little bit later. And then I'm flying out to Germany on Saturday. Tune in for a vlog. Be hooking up with Rio Sunday, Monday. I managed to get tickets for Austria versus France, so I'm looking forward to going to that. I am going to England versus Serbia. And then I'm back home Tuesday and then straight to training for me. So enjoy that. But I'm out of here and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.